Hi, my name is Pablo and I'd like to give you a warm welcome to my channel. The brand name is the first thing that your customers will notice. It has to be short, it has to be easy to remember, easy to spell, it has to be memorable, and somehow it has to be catchy. But is that all there is to your brand name? In this video, we're gonna see 5 things that your brand name reveals that you are probably unaware of. If you stay till the end of this video, there will be a small goodie for you. So, venga, venga, venga! Let's start with it. My name is Pablo Calal and I help entrepreneurs create money-making brand names by applying the principles of business numerology. You might be wondering what's that. This might be the first time you actually think about it or hear about it. So even though we're going to explain this into more depth in future videos, I like to explain the way I like to explain it. It's just like I like to see numerology as a language. Instead of letters, they are numbers, and each number represents certain attributes that can be positive, they can be negative, or they can be destructive. So the main idea of numerology really is to provide practical help, practical information, and the idea is to help your brand sell more and achieve its maximal potential, if you like. So if you like this type of content, I like to invite you to subscribe and click the bell icon to receive all the notifications. I'm going to be posting new videos every Thursday. And now, without further ado, we're going to see 5 things that your brand name reveals that you are unaware of. The first thing that we're going to cover today that your brand names reveal is the vibration. Your brand name might represent a concept or idea or a niche or whatever it is that is representing. It's still reflecting a vibration. How do you calculate a vibration? It's very simple. Each letter will correspond to a number, and what you do is like you add all the numbers all together, including the form of company that you registered your name under, like limited or any other form of company, and the end result that's going to be talking about the vibration. This is going to be one of the most important parts of your brand name because it's going to be, this number is going to be talking about the brand name, about its strengths, about its characteristics, its personality, but also it's going to be talking about the potential that that brand that the things that it could achieve, and also it's going to be talking about how much or in which way this brand is being defined. So this concept of vibration is something that it's very important. Some vibrations are going to be more likely to succeed than others. So it's very important to create a brand name with bearing this in mind and creating a vibration that it's like and in line with your project, with your ideas, and also with the goals that you want to achieve. The second thing that your brand name reveals, it's related to its personality. We have talked about a vibration, and that's on itself is going to be talking about the attributes and the energy that represents. But on top of that, they're going to be the personality will be related to how perhaps our customers will see us. This is something that is related to your brand name. So There are a couple of ways of looking into this. Perhaps one of the most important things is actually looking into all your brand name and breaking it down into your consonants. So if you add all the numbers, it's, as I said, like each letter is gonna have, it's going to be represented by a number. So if you add all those numbers corresponding to all the consonants in your brand name, that's going to be the resulting name. It's going to be talking about the personality, about how this brand is being perceived, and this is something very important to for you, for your brand. Definitely something to be aware of. But also the first letter is going to be talking about the personality of your brand, and it's something that it's important to take into consideration, because it's going to be speaking about the project, about the energy that it reflects, about the attributes that they reflect. So all those things together are going to be very important for you and your business. And this is the second thing that your brand name is revealing and perhaps you are not being aware of. The third thing that your brand reveals that you might not be aware of is related to the culture and the business culture. I think these days the business culture is something that is being more and more and more relevant each day. There's more companies out there that they're just getting more competitive, and they are looking for the best candidates, and they're recruiting. They're creating like very sophisticated recruitment process. However, these days it's not only just the company recruiting the candidates, but the candidates will be definitely recruiting the best companies. Now, what the best company means might be very different from candidate to candidate. They will be perhaps looking for the salary and the compensation, of course, and the duties and all the ability to progress within the company and all those things, absolutely. However, the business culture is something that candidates are paying more and more and more attention to. So this is something that definitely, in my opinion, it's important to have a thought about what your brand represents, what the business cultures are, what the values are, and based on that, as we've been discussing so far, numbers have different attributes and different characteristics. So I think it would be wise to choose a vibration that it's in line with your values and your ideas and your business culture, but also choose the letters that your brand name is made of, particularly the first two, particularly the first letter, and that will be talking about the project, and also the first vowel is going to be talking about the project and the characteristics that it has. So I think this is something that your brand is speaking about, that obviously not everybody will understand. As we said, like numerology is a language, but that will help to access information that perhaps otherwise it'll be different to obtain, or it'll take longer. But it's definitely something that it's important to be aware of, that it's practical, and the purpose is to help you really succeed with your brand name. So this is something that your brand name is speaking about that perhaps you are not being aware of. Look into the longevity of your project, and this is something that obviously your brand name is talking about. Uh, in order to do that and to study and analyze it, you need to bear in mind all the letters that are forming your brand name, and then you need to add them all together. That number is going to talk about the number of years that that project is going to be on its prime, if you like. It doesn't mean that because once you go over all those years, the project will die. There's a very important concept to understand that has to do with letters and has to do with transitions. So basically, your brand name, as you know, it's made of letters, and each letter has a meaning, has an attribute, has a series of characteristics, and that is going to be affecting your brand in this case for a number of years. So it's very important to choose wisely the letters that are making your brand, particularly at the beginning of the name, and particularly the initials, because we all know that the beginnings of any brand or any company trying to launch their project, their business, it doesn't come with a great number of challenges. So just being aware of this, choosing the right letters, it's something that is gonna have a positive impact on the longevity of your brand, particularly at the beginning, which is where your brand or your project is gonna be perhaps more vulnerable. So it just makes sense to choose letters that are gonna help you to create a brand name that helps, and to basically choose the right things for you, for your purpose and your goals. So if you add all the numbers in your brand, that's going to be talking about the longevity of your brand. It's talking more about the prime of that project, of that business. It doesn't mean that when it goes through the last letter of your business, your project is going to die. It will start again with the first letter, so that they will keep transitioning. However, it's important to look into that end name and that number, because that's going to be talking about the prime years of your project. So I think I like to talk a little bit something very quickly and very quickly, even though this project and this channel is all about numerology and helping entrepreneurs create brand names and helping your brand to grow using the principles of business numerology. And even though I'm a massive fan of it, otherwise I wouldn't be doing this, and I truly believe that it's gonna help you. It doesn't mean that just only having the perfect name is gonna it's going to mean that your brand, your business is going to magically be successful on its own. That's not how it works, unfortunately. And I think this is something important to disclose. No matter how perfect your brand name is in terms of numerology speaking, if you don't do the work, if you don't commit to it, if you are not delivering what you're supposed to deliver and do the things that you're supposed to do, is not going to work. So just wanted to throw that out there, because I think it's very important to say and to know. To the potential of success, how likely your brand name is, how likely your project is going to succeed, is something that it can definitely start with the name. We've talked a little bit about the vibration, we've talked a little bit about the personality, about the culture, about the initial letter. We've talked about the transitions of the letter and how important it is to choose letters that are going to help you succeed. So all of these, taking a general look of all those things plus others that we'll perhaps be looking into more details in future videos, are going to be talking about how likely it is for your brand to succeed. So if the initials are using letters like are not really going to do it for your business, or they're going to create more problems to your business, even though the end vibration is great and it's going to help you, if that's not, if the first letter is not something that is helping you, it's going to make things more difficult. It doesn't mean that your project is going to die. It just means like there are just going to be more unnecessarily challenges that perhaps they need to be, and that will have an effect on your success and whether you might be able to pull that off or not. So the vibration of the name is going to be talking about how likely you are to succeed, because as I said, like some numbers are going to be definitely more inclined to create success than others. And the first letter is going to be talking about how likely you are to achieve success, and the overall business culture and the overall name is going to be talking about all of this. So this is what we have for the video today. I hope you enjoy it and I hope that you like it. I'd like to know which one of those five things caught your attention the most, which one was more surprised to hear uh, about the things that your brand name is actually revealing that perhaps you weren't really aware of. I understand, like, this might be the first time that you hear about numerology, that you experience this, and I totally understand if you might have some doubts or some queries, and that's absolutely perfect. That's not a problem. Hopefully, we will create enough material so you can dispel all these queries that you might have. However, I just like to invite you to keep an open mind and just want to remind you that just because you don't know the principles at hand, it doesn't mean that it doesn't going to help you and your brand. I'd like to ask you if that's okay with you to just to go back to 1882 and just imagine that you are in Manhattan and for the first time the Edison's electricity company launched electricity on a very small scale back then. Do you imagine what you'd have felt when you come into contact with that? That would have been shocking, and that would be considered even magic, if you like. Uh, but just because they weren't aware of the principles of electricity back then, they weren't used to it, it didn't mean that the electricity was there waiting to be tapped into and that it didn't really benefit them. So I like to invite you to have like an open mindset. And just because you might not be fully aware of what it is or how it works, it does not mean that it cannot actually help you and your brand. So I'd like to thank you for staying till the end. As I say, there is a goodie for you waiting. It's how to create a brand name that sells. So just to download how to do that, just simply go to my website pablocalal.com/bonus and just download it from there. And I'll say it again, it's pablocalal.com/bonus, and I'll leave it in the description down below as well for you. And once again, I hope you enjoy this video. I hope to see you in the next one, next Thursday, where we're going to see 5 benefits that business numerology can bring to your brand name. And I really encourage you to stay tuned because you might be really surprised about it. So thanks again, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you. Hi, my name is Pablo Calal, and I'd like to give you a warm welcome to my channel. Or not.
Hello guys and welcome to my channel. Hope you enjoy this. Thank you. I feel like I have like a massive head and that's I do. Thank you. Hi guys, this doesn't feel weird at all. This feels supernatural and it's not weird at all. And the angle is absolutely perfect. So I have no fucking clue where am I actually going to record this. But we'll get there. Bear with me. Thank you.